right here on our interview in Business Insight today, and I have three very able and knowledgeable people on set just to talk about tea and how the business is running, not only in Kenya, but away from Kenya, miles and miles away. We're talking Sweden. Now, close to me is Rhoda Landemark, who's our director of Gileab Tea, and then there's Klaus. Okay. Klaus, I need them to understand why I said Klaus. Klaus is spelled as C-L-A-E-S. Yes?
Yes.
All right, wonderful.
Yes.
So there's Rhoda, Klaus, and Lucy. Now, Rhoda and Klaus, you are the founders and directors of Gileab Tea.
That's true.
All right. So before we get into the nitty-gritties of the company and how it's working both here and in Sweden, maybe you can tell us a slight profile, maybe a slight history of what Gileab is all about.
Gileab actually is all about tea, and the idea actually came up for 2 years ago, and that's why we formed the Gileab company, to be able to export or import tea in Sweden.
All right. Yeah,
that was our first main goal, to export tea from Kenya and import it to Europe, mainly Sweden then. But we have been marketing in Britain as well. So we have participated in an exhibition showing the products. But on the way, we kind of made a 180-degree turn in the goal, because we felt at marketing and promoting Kenyan tea, we should be more active on the local market as well. So that is why we have launched a tea brand here in Kenya as well.
All right. All right. And Klaus, maybe I shall just ask you this. It's been quite a couple of months, topsy-turvy. It's been the country has been going through a couple of ups and downs,
Yes.
And you're still able to launch your company, basing it here and in Sweden. Why now? Why did you choose to launch it now, especially after what the country is going through and the fact that the sector seems to have been having some complications?
Well, first of all, we are not afraid of challenges. That is a big challenge. The best news that we have had this time, we have been around here for 4 weeks now, 6 weeks rather, is then when your two leaders made their statement that calmed the situation in the country.
Yes.
So that told us that we are on the right track, that nothing is impossible. Of course, if we can contribute to this market, then we do our little share.
All right. Now, on set, we also have Lucy and Jerry. Lucy, a very good afternoon. I'm very sorry I never gave you a chance to introduce yourself.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, sometimes my manners are off like
okay.
that.
I understand, yeah.
So, Lucy, I'm thinking you are their source in Kenya.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
correct.
she is your source in
Yes.
Kenya, and you are the brainchild behind whatever is going on with the company in Kenya. And now, what obstacles would you say you have faced before the launch of this company in the country?
Okay, not too much obstacles. So far, we are doing very good in the market. We are doing very good as Gileab Tea. Yes, because most of the people are saying that our tea is the best.
All right.
Yes.
And maybe, as she says, you're doing very good in the market as Gileab Tea. What market are we looking at?
Right now, actually, from the beginning, we are looking at international market. We didn't want Kenyan tea, the best tea in the world, to hit the international market. That's why, actually, we took Kenyan tea to Britain for a show last year, and it did very well. But the amazing thing is that the British didn't know that tea grows in Kenya.
Really?
Yes.
It's one of our economy driver.
We know that.
Yeah.
And that's why actually even when the country has some kind of obstacles, we never give up because we believe in our tea. The quality is the best quality ever. And that's actually one of the amazing things that we experience in Britain.
All right. And Gileab Tea has been around for how long?
1.5 years.
1.5 years. How would you compare the markets that you have in Kenya compared in comparison to the markets that you have in Sweden?
We say that Gileab Tea is doing very good in the country, in local markets in Kenya. But compared with outside, the thing, as I said earlier, that Kenyan tea is known outside. And what we want to give the international market is the pure Kenyan tea, 100%. Not Kenyan tea being blended with other tea, but 100% Kenyan tea. And that's what you make the Kenyan tea do very good, or Gileab tea do very good in the international markets.
So what exactly would you say is different between the Gileab tea and the other tea that is being offered outside there, the other tea companies that are offering the product outside there? What's special about Gileab tea?
It's the way we source our tea.
All right.
We are very careful, and we want to create the best quality tea that we ever can find. That is why we want to go as close to the source as possible. Other tea dealers or other brands, they go to Mombasa and buy the tea at auction. We try to challenge that kind of commerce that has been going on for 100 years. Because we believe that if we can make the producers more important to the final quality, if we can meet them in another way,
So
it's developing the whole industry.
yes, getting everybody involved.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
apart from producers, who else do you have in your chain of production?
Of course, we have to. We are not in the country to start factories, so we are outsourcing everything about that. So we have to. We have contracted partners that are producing and packing and so on. So we are.
How's that going, Lucy?
So far, so good. We are doing good. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, there's always an issue, or rather not always an issue, there's an issue when it comes to tea farming. The farmers and the laborers seem to be having a dispute because the laborers want to be paid more, and the farmers, on the other hand, say 75% of the profit and ends up going to paying the farmers, which is a high percentage. I don't know if that affects you in any kind of way, and if it does, what are your sentiments on that particular fact?
It hasn't actually affected us at all at the moment, since we are very new in the market.
Yes.
So, but we are very much concerned about the farmers, because without farmers, we can't exist. And the relationship between Gileab and the farmers, we want it to be the best. We are very concerned on how they feel about the tea they produce, the tea they are picking, the work they are doing. And for the relationship, the relationship between us and the farmers, and also in the factory, has to be very close. Meaning that we'll be able actually to be aware of the problem coming up, or even the tensions, if you call it that way, between the farmers and us, because it has to be there.
All right. And there's also a question of technology. Are you, as you grow your brand as Gileab Tea, are you seeing yourselves embracing technology and taking in the different machines that make work easier, but will unfortunately send the different laborers home?
Of course, that since we are not actually the actual producer, that is very important how our partners that we contract are dealing with those issues. We can tell you where we come from. It's a trend that you locally produce everything. Of course, we can't locally produce tea in Europe, but that is why we we want to get to know this market as much as we can.
And with that said, what future do you see for tea?
It's actually bright. It's bright because the experience from Britain when we were there last year gave us an idea of what they want for tea, and they want the best quality. So for us starting actually to import tea to Sweden or to other countries in Scandinavia, including German, we found that it's also good for us to have our tea in Kenya as well. The local market is very, very interesting for us, and that's why our tea has hit actually. It's doing very good in Nyandarua and in Machakos as well. Being based on the quality, because the quality we are taking to Europe is the quality that we are distributing or we are giving the local people. There is no difference between the tea that we are taking to Europe or the tea that we are actually selling in Kenya.
And in Kenya, you sell across the country, or you just in some parts of the country?
Right now in some parts, but in future we are hoping that we'll be able to cover the whole country.
All right. And actually, that's where I want to get into my final question to you, as the different stakeholders of Gileab Tea, including Lucy over there. What are your goals when it comes to this product and this company that is only just 1.5 years old?
The goals actually.
The dreams are so big.
They've
gone silent before they could speak. Okay.
Yeah, because actually, as we said, that the goal is actually for the Kenyan tea, the best tea in the world, to hit the international market. And that is what our focus actually, even if we turn 180 degrees and start distributing or selling our tea in local markets, the goal is actually to make sure that the other part of the world will be able to experience Kenyan real tea, 100%. Because once you sell your tea or our tea in Mombasa, it's end up in somebody else's hand. And when that hand actually, the tea end on the other side, it means that it's their tea, they can do whatever they want with it.
Anything to say, Klaus?
Yeah, we started this with talking about that Kenyan tea is not known, and it's a paradox since Kenya is the largest exporter of tea in the world. And the reason of that is that it's blended at the dealers beyond recognition. You never can say it's Kenyan tea. That is what we want to change. We want to sell pure Kenyan tea.
All right.
We want Kenyan tea to be recognized as Kenyan tea, not something that is blended with other tea. That's our goal.
All right.
Yes.
Lucy, any last words?
Sorry?
Any last words?
Yeah. Okay, we have an office for Gileab Company. It's located at Ajib House, that is next to Times Towers. And we also have a website, that is www.gileab.com. And we have a phone number. All right. Yes.
Can they find the phone number on your website, or would you just like to read it out to them?
Okay, I can give out our phone number. That is 0722 124 628.
0722 124 628. And that is where you shall get more information on Gileab Tea, purely Kenyan, 100%, as the directors are trying to assure us. So feel free to go out there and get your packet. I'm sure I'm going to get mine. I don't know what happened to them. They're just, they're down there. I'll bring them out after this particular story now.